Hey, this is Chuck, and you are listening to Fans with Bands, the podcast where we talk to the fans and the bands they dig about life, music, and whatever the hell else we want to talk about. Today on Fans with Bands, we're talking to Moonwreckers. Check it out. Hey, this is Chuck with Fans with Bands, and I'm talking to Paul, James, Matt, and Matt from Moonwreckers. How you guys doing?
Great.
Good.
How are you?
Awesome, man.
Awesome.
How are you, Chuck?
I'm doing really good. I'm really good. I'm happy to talk with you guys, and I can't wait to talk about your album. But we also have a couple of fans. We got Jillian and Ashley. How are you guys? Oh, they're muted. They're
We're
waving.
good.
All
I'm
right.
doing well. Doing
All
well. Happy to be here.
Awesome. So I think it was Paul. I'm pretty sure, Paul, you were on. The reason I became that I knew about your band is you were a fan on when I was talking to Cosmic Sands.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Yep.
and it was that was really fun. I loved I met Jeremy from Distilled Tongues, and then found out
Okay.
about the other band, and I'm like, holy shit, this is awesome. But anyway, that's how I met you, and you were kind enough to send me your guys' new album, which is Why Look Here, which I believe is coming out the 23rd of June. Is that correct?
Yeah, full in all its glory. On the
Awesome.
23rd of June. Yep.
Awesome. So you
Absolutely.
sent me the music on SoundCloud ahead of time, so I feel privileged. I got to listen to it, and I think I replied and I said, holy shit! I mean, literally the hairs on my arms are standing up because it was so cool. I love the lush textures of the music, these really kind of dreamy harmonies in there, and just the emotional quality of that. The writing in your album, it's really good. So you guys,
Oh man, thank you so much.
Yeah, I really
fantastic job.
appreciate that.
Yeah, fantastic.
That's really cool.
I was thinking of when I was listening to it, a couple things came to mind, like bands that I could think, like if someone was trying to relate it to, like the Pixies.
Oh man.
I thought of like little bits of some of the vocals and maybe some of the like guitars reminding me of like really early Radiohead. And I also
Nice.
thought of the Doves.
Cool.
I don't know if you guys know the Doves.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
Yeah.
some of those kind of those dreamy qualities where you're kind of like in and out. I definitely thought of that. So I was like, all right, this is fantastic. Because I'll tell you, typically I'm like a huge metalhead and
Yeah.
I just love metal. But there's certain bands like the style of music that you guys are playing, like the Doves, like the Pixies, that are just great. You can just put them on anytime, and you're like, oh fuck, this is great. So
Yeah.
again,
Awesome.
I know
That's
I'm going
very
on and
cool.
on about it, but it's really cool, and I'm excited to talk to you guys about this.
Oh man, likewise. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we love metal too. We
All
just-
right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I know there's some heavier elements in there, mixed in, which is again what I like about that style of music that you guys are making. So, is this the first album you guys have done, or is there another one out there?
Yeah, this is the first. No EPs or anything. We're just coming strong with the whole self-titled. I think it's over 50 minutes, 12 songs, I think.
Yeah,
Like 54, 55 minutes total.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it, man. Why screw around? Just
Yeah,
go
that's
for it.
right. Yeah.
That's awesome. So I want to talk a little bit about the music. I know it's not out, so when folks hear this, they may not have it yet, but you will have some singles coming out. But I want to kind of talk about the songwriting and some of the influences behind it, and just start with some of the music itself. And one tune I really love was called Failures. And so I was curious, like, if you could tell me the story behind that one, like, how did you guys, come about? How did you make that song, and what influenced its creation?
I guess maybe I'll start. You guys can fill in at any point if I say something stupid. Yeah, so like all of these songs, if you can tell by the lyrical content, are pretty personal. There's they were written kind of over the span of a few years, and during COVID actually started sharing them with these guys. We were in a band previously. We were doing more covers before, and so during COVID we just I don't know. I think we were just looking for inspiration. We were tossing around ideas, and then I was like, you know what? I have all these songs. Let's send them to the boys, see what they think. It was pretty terrifying for me to do, just because I had kept them kind of so close to myself. And yeah, so that's kind of where all of them started from. But yeah, they were failures specifically. Let's see. Which song is that one about? Yeah, okay. So I mean, like the most of the content of the record, not all, but most of the content of the record is regarding myself and my ex-wife and sort of the end of our relationship. That we had been together for a very long time, since we were 18 years old, 37 now. So we had been together for a very long time, and we hit a fairly rough patch there. And I mean, I did say she's my former wife, so we didn't end up sticking together, but that one's certainly about the situation at the time.
Yeah.
They're all kind of like, well, not all of them, but any of them that have to do with that situation. The writing was more therapy for me than anything. I never really intended on releasing the music to anyone until these guys got their hands on them, and then I was like, damn, okay, these are actually pretty awesome. And so it just kind of spiraled.
That's cool. So when you came with the song, did you stick with the overall like song structure? I know lyrically you had where you were going with it, but did the song itself remain intact throughout, or did everybody get in there and say, I'd like to change this part, I'd like to do this to these, this chord sequence, blah blah blah?
I don't know. What do you guys think?
So when you first sent them over, they were just because you recorded them at the apartment in Lansing, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So it was a mic and a guitar. So they were pretty raw tracks. I mean, it was just the vocals and the general structure of the song. So we started
in an apartment too.
Yeah,
you said, like, would you remember how quiet he was on those?
Yeah. Well, so
I had neighbors.
and if you remember, I don't remember which song it is off the top of my head, but in one of the songs at the end of it, you can actually hear one of his cats meowing as the song is going out, And we were joking around for the longest time about ways to inject that back into the final product, and we're like, it's gonna be too hard to like make that magic happen again. But yeah, so what ended up happening is you sent these demo tracks, and we started kind of recording at home because no one was really seeing each other in person at that point. Okay. And then so we kind of got into it and started saying, okay, well, let's take this a little more seriously. So we started working and actually sending, stem tracks back and forth, mixing a demo together.
Yeah.
And so everyone really kind of had the opportunity, at least I think, had the opportunity to kind of write their own parts around the core structure. So there'd be things we'd bounce around and, yeah, we like this. No, we don't like this. But a lot of it was the creative process kind of in our own space.
Nice.
And I think what was kind of cool about it is by the time we first got back together, I remember that first practice, and I think it was at Matt's house, and your parents were like, you guys all got masks, you guys all vaccinated, and but by the time we got together to play half of these songs, we had already heard them and played them 100+ times in our own homes. So it was wild to hear something so familiar, but yet it'd be the first time you play it in the same space.
Wow.
Which I also remember too, it felt like everything got a little more, and I think some of it was just a product of, like Jamin said, they were Matt's tracks recorded in an apartment building. He's got to be quiet because he's got neighbors, and then so we're bouncing these around over the wire because we were in lockdown for half of this.
Yeah.
And then by the time that we do get together, I think things definitely, like some of the heavier parts that you hear in the album really came alive when we got together in person and had real drums and amplifiers pegged out and everything else that
you could feel it.
Yeah, the album, it got a little more aggressive in parts, which I think is a good thing.
Yeah, for sure.
And Failures is a fun one. Just to wrap up on this in your head now, but Failures is a fun one because it's got a cool rhythmic kind of pulse to it.
Yeah.
that it's almost difficult to count when you go into the chorus, but it's got like a couple of different feels to it. And then when Matt and Jameis went and did the harmonies on it, that's what I really love about the song. I'm lucky enough I get to sing the high part, but like that just put that song over the top for me. I loved hearing it and loved performing it.
Nice. The other tune I really enjoyed, and I believe it's the first single you guys are going to put out, and that's May Gray.
Yep, May Graves. Yep.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
that'll be out Friday, the 26th.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Excellent.
so certainly by the time this gets posted, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, people have a chance to like kind of get ensconced with it and hopefully come to love it. So what's the story behind that tune?
Yeah. So so there was a point where that same relationship was not going well, and I was like, well, I need to. Can I swear?
Yeah, for
Well,
sure.
I swear, yeah. I was like, I need to get the fuck out of here. I need to get out of Michigan. We had a house in East Lansing at the time, and it just wasn't working, and I just needed to like reboot. And like, I gave her the open invite, and I was like, hey, this is, like we can try this again. Let's get a like fresh start or whatever. So went off to California, lived in Pasadena for like a year, and she did eventually come out for a short period of time, but it just ultimately didn't work. And so she left, and so like I was pretty down in the dumps about it and pretty lost just because we had been together so long.
Yeah.
So like May Grays really came out of like after she had left California, and I was out there with very little friends and support, and just kind of out on my own. And yeah, I mean that's really what it's about. It was kind of like, well, I'm getting out of here. You're welcome to come. And it was just like my lonesome struggle to try and find my people, which ultimately I never really did, and ended up coming back.
Awesome.
Where are your people?
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, my people are here in Michigan, so.
Awesome. So I'm curious, like when Paul, Jameis, and Matt, other Matt, heard that raw track, what were your impressions when you first heard it?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, I think we kind of messed around with parts of this track when we would rent a music space at a little place out in Ypsi, and yeah, Grove Studios.
Grove Studios, all right, I know.
Yeah.
those guys.
Yeah.
Great place.
And
man.
so, like we'd get together late at night, and I seemed like there are bits and pieces of this song that came from a jam session at Grove. And then I think everything just kind of seemed to meld together really well when hearing Matt's track. At least that's some of what, at least I can speak for myself on some of that. At least some of my parts, I definitely remember playing at a late night at Grove.
Yeah, I want to say this was like really the first one, like where like we played it together as a band, and like it was like, holy shit, like this is pretty cool. Like this is right. It just like everyone's parts melded, and like I mean there was like a learning curve involved, like where like you're feeling the parts out, and you're like, I don't know if that's the right whatever drum part or that's the right guitar part, but then Matt or Paul or Jameis would do something and it clicked, and like that was the first like exciting thing, I think, that was like, oh shit, this is pretty cool. This is becoming something so much cooler than just some sad asshole alone.
Yeah. I even remember there was like some dude in the parking lot drinking beer, and he was like, you guys sounded pretty good. And we were like, all right.
We made it, guys.
Man, where is he?
Yeah, I think that one pretty unanimously. I think we all jumped on that one, and I think we all found our place in that relatively quickly too.
Mm-hmm.
But I do remember that first night at Grove. The one guy came in looking for cables too, and he's like, "How long you guys been playing?" And we're like, "Oh, we're just starting." He goes, "You guys sound great."
That's awesome.
And I don't know if it was just the humble nature of like, guy needs cable, guy's got
Right.
to interrupt, you know. But,
Yeah.
You guys
but
are
I
great.
know
Really need
we
those
have a
cables.
couple of the early recordings from those. And my daughter recorded some stuff when we were there too the one night. She was a trooper, just hanging out on the couch.
That's right.
You know, does it sound good, Gray? Yep. Headphones back on, and she's in her own world. So
Excellent.
yeah. What I thought was fun with that one was that one we had the Scooby-Doo mystery towards the end of it. If you guys remember, we were trying to figure out what was going on with that last part going into the final chorus, and then the ending. We came back to your original Matt's original demo for that. So originally the ending for that was just a big bombastic rings out, you know, and we're listening to it one night and we're like, Matt kind of chugs those 3 chords in the original tape that he did back in the apartment. And I kind of put it together and I sent it to the guys and I said, hey, we should try and do this, you know. And it kind of became this, you know, thing that we came back to, you know. And I was happy that we found it again. You know, it was something that wasn't there for the longest time, and it seemed to kind of round out the back end of that track a bit, I thought.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Awesome.
And Conkle's credit, the chorus riff that I was trying to do way too much, and then he's like, just play the damn octaves over again. and I was like, all right, so I did it, and so the whole band moves to a different chord underneath, and then I just keep playing the octave part, and it's like, all right, that rips. So credit where credit's due.
That's
Drummer
pretty
wrote
much
sweet guitar riff.
Yeah, that's pretty much the story of Paul as a guitar player. Is he's so technically good that like he just has the tendency to just
overplay,
canoodle,
cram it all in.
Say it, Matt.
The secret's out.
Yeah.
Less is more. It's
Less
all
is
good
more,
though.
baby. I grew a lot on this album. I can tell you that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. We're super proud of him.
That's super hard, actually. You know, because you know I play guitar, and back when I was in a band, I would like, you know, try to throw these leads in there that were just play the, you know, we were playing metal, but you're just trying to throw like 8,000 notes out there, you know.
Yeah.
And then you listen to a guy like Steven Wilson.
Porcupine Tree, right?
Yeah. And you listen to those guitar solos on there, and you're like, oh, that's what I want to do, right?
Yeah.
Play like that guy, you know. It's like, holy shit. Yeah.
Even some of the stuff he did after he toured with Opeth.
Yeah.
Like Anesthetize.
Yeah.
Like for as long as that track is, it's just an absolute trip. I think it's 22 or 23 minutes long or something like that.
It's
and
crazy.
Every time that song comes on, I'll sit and listen to it start to finish. Love it.
Yeah. My most favorite solo that is on that it's the album with it's a blue cover or white and blue. I can't think of the name of the album right now, but it's The Sound of Music.
Oh yeah. That was that the same one with piano lessons?
I can't remember.
I'm gonna look it up real quick.
But that guitar solo.
Oh, that's from In Absentia.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. That was a phenomenal album.
Yeah. That guitar solo right there, boom. Holy shit. So good. So
That's
anyway,
awesome.
Digressed into Porcupine Tree. But so on this album, which for each of you is your favorite song and why?
Oh, shit.
I know. Boom, Paul.
Yeah, Paul, you're right.
It's so hard. No, honestly, like lyrically and all together, it's probably Wake the Fuck Up. So it's the closing track. I've told Matt this. The lyrics hit really hard for me. And it's a slower kind of like and it builds a little bit, but it's kind of airy too.
Yeah.
And I really like the way it turned out with kind of the huge come in for the chorus and then kind of keep it urethral. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Ethereal.
Ethereal?
Not urethral.
Urethral.
Ethereal.
That's a different
hole, bro. But ethereal and the verses. So I'd probably say Wake the Fuck Up is my favorite.
Let's Jamis, how about you?
God, that's tough. I'm all over the place with it. for the longest time, I think it was May Gray's. Intuition has really grown on me a lot. Just it's got that like straight hard, driving vibe to it, pretty much start to finish. It gets pretty bombastic at the end.
Yeah.
And that was one I struggled with to find something, because I'm like, I'm not finding a place in there.
Yeah.
And then when I hit it, I'm like, okay, it's just simple and just ride it out and have fun with it,
Yeah.
So yeah, those two really kind of hit me every time I get to play them.
All right. How about Matt G?
Yeah. I guess for me, I don't know. It's like I'll say coping.
Ooh.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it was one of the last ones that like I wrote, and it was specifically not about my divorce. So although like originally it was about, I mean, it is about it was originally called Coping Death, and we dropped Coping Death, and I thought it was a cool play on Creeping Death, but I was like, the lyrics, I was like, well, this could still fit, and
Yeah.
it kind of like the lyrics like leave it open to interpretation and can fit,
Right.
anyone's sad situation. But I would say that one.
Cool. And Matt K.
Oh, it's a tough one, because I think it's interesting hearing what everyone else says, because like as I listen to things more, you kind of like pick a different track. I think right now, maybe wake the fuck up, I think right now is what's doing it for me. I love the guitar work in it, if I'm honest. Like, it's just, I think Paul did an incredible job on that track.
Oh, thanks.
And so that's my
Great.
flavor of the week right now. But if you ask me next week, I'll probably pick something different.
Yeah. Well, and I was thinking of that when you guys were talking, because I probably should have said at this moment, because yeah, it's like
It
all
changes.
music, and every day you're, different mood, different situation, something else is gonna spark your interest. So, and that's the cool thing. And another great thing about this album, there's a little something in there for everybody, really. Any type of, whatever's going on. Even though, there's some, like I said, some emotional stuff in there. But cool.
Absolutely.
So let's kind of go back in time a little bit, at least for me. And like, how did the band come together? How did you guys form Moonwrecker?
Beer in JD's kitchen. Is that where it started?
I think so.
I know we were over at Buddy's house one day and we were talking, and I think Matt and Matt G and Paul were both missing playing, and we were talking, and somehow it came up. I'm like, yeah, I played music growing up too, and I remember, like, I think it was Paul, you want to start a band? And then Galbraith, you want to start a band? And then the whole thing came, we hugged it out in the kitchen, and I don't think we talked about it for 2 weeks until Paul was like, well, I work with a guy who's a really good drummer. And, I think that's actually where it started for the four of us.
Yeah, just Matt and I, Conkle and I we're jamming. We had fun. Oh, you play music? I play music. Sweet. Do you like Rush? I like Rush. Sweet. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's play Rocket Queen over and over.
Yeah, just Guns N' Roses until you bleed. And then and so we had messed around. And yeah, we had the kind of the moment, the serendipity at the in the kitchen of just hey, let's do this. And we started the cover train thing, and we had a couple of singers and really talented people. And then, played a couple of shows, had some fun, then world shut down. And then we decided to do our own thing. Here we are, Chuck.
Awesome. That's fantastic. So cool. Awesome. So, I know everyone has their own evolutionary story into music. So, for each of you, like, what inspired you to want to play music? And there's like, it's kind of a two-part question, because lots of people play music. Not everybody plays in a band, and because it's a different thing, right? It's another wanting of the music thing. So, when you're answering, like who, it can be who, a band, a song, who inspired you and to want to play, and then also be in a band.
Yeah.
Let's start.
I'll start.
All right, go.
I know immediately my response. My dad, for sure. My dad played guitar. He was in bands growing up. I had an uncle that also was in bands. I was just surrounded by music all the time. And like they would practice in the basement at my house, and
Awesome.
it'd be like 10 o'clock at night, and I'm in elementary school, and I'm like banging on the ground, like, I have to go to bed. Like, and then he would yell back up with his buddies, like, one more. And they'd play like 5 more, of course. So it was just like, yeah, I mean, my environment in that growing up, it's always sort of been a part of my DNA. And then, yeah, I mean, like, I guess my story is because of that. They put me in like piano lessons when I was a kid or whatever, and I played cornet for a minute, and then I played the upright bass in middle school. But ultimately, I just wanted to play like rock and roll bands. So
yeah.
Actually, Paul and I, my first band, I think it's Paul's first band too.
It was
Originally called
stole my answer.
PMT. PMT, which stood for Paul, Matt, Tank, and Tank was our original drummer. And then that morphed into the Ron Jeremy Experience, which was a ska band.
Awesome.
An 8-piece ska band.
That was so much fun.
And then, yeah, I mean, I just kind of bounced from bands after that. Like I was in like a screamo band, kind of more metal, post-hardcore. And then I was in like just a straight up punk rock band. And then I was in a band that I was fortunate enough where I got to like travel around a bit. We didn't make money really, but we made enough to just keep going from town to town to town.
Very good band.
Yeah, that band was called Monument. And that was more of like sort of like an indie pop rock type thing. And then, yeah, I mean, just growing older and, like going to school and starting careers and stuff, like music kind of fell on the back burner. And then it wasn't until these guys came around that like really sparked, new life in me, I guess.
That's
for music.
cool.
So,
awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Matt K, how about you?
Well, this is boring. I have the same answer as Matt.
My dad, he's
My dad.
a lot of our dads.
Yeah.
Really.
Well, he was. So my dad played the drums, and so there was always a drum set around the house, and he played in bands when I was younger. So I remember like walking downstairs and like just listening to loud covers of Ted Nugent and Kiss and all sorts of other like 70s hard rock and so that was like, for me, drums were just always around. And then when you're younger, it was like whoever lived in my neighborhood that played an instrument, I would just like seek them out because there would be like one kid who was whatever, had a guitar and an amp that was loud enough to get over a drum set, right? Because everyone would bring over like a tiny little bass amp and you'd be like, that's not gonna do it.
Not quite.
But and just a lot of that was also like the exposure to the bands that I guess shaped some of my drum. I'm like, of course, it's like pretty cliche for a drummer to like Rush, but I love Rush and Van Halen and all of like those kind of old hard rock bands and like Pat Travers and just a lot of Robin Trower, prog or just like old prog rock. That sort of stuff was always playing in the house, and so those were like a lot of the bands that shaped me and then inspired me through the years. And then it's a story just like anyone else who starts playing an instrument early, right? I never had lessons, but I started early enough to where the frustration was never there with learning.
Yeah.
And then once you play live with someone and it's just like a feeling for me it's like nothing else, it's the best high that you can get in life.
Nice. Awesome. Paul, how about you?
So I'd say my first music started with my grandma. She taught me how to play piano, and then Matt's dad. like semi serious. Like when I learned how to play GCD in a church camp when I was in high school, and then came back and learned electric guitar and an amp, and then hooked up with Galbraith there. And it's like his dad, and I was looking at his what year is that Les Paul, Matt?
It's a 1980 Les Paul Custom Silverburst.
Oh,
yeah.
he actually let me use it for my senior pictures of high school. So I got
awesome.
but I was just like enamored by this guitar, and just the life, just being able to express yourself with music, and Guns N' Roses was my thing. Like Slash was, I wanted a top hat. I don't have the hair for it, but just he kept me wanting to play, and then playing with these guys. Like Matt, like Conkle said, once you play live, it's just game over. It's such a great feeling, and when you hit it and everyone's locked in, oh man, there's not much like it.
Excellent. And Davis, how are you?
So before we jump to me, I've never seen this senior photo.
Oh,
I gotta find him, man.
Is it like the laser background?
No, I don't think it's a laser back, but I'm definitely doing like this weird G chord because I thought, like, oh, everyone's gonna know what he's playing.
Yeah,
like, that makes sense.
All right. So for me, we had a lot of music in the family, but none of my immediate family played.
Oh.
My dad was a big rock and roll guy. There were a lot of late nights, just like Galbraith had, where 2, 3 in the morning, dad's still up listening to rock concerts. He'd be blasting the Wall, or some Yes album, or Robin Trower, like Bridge of Sighs. I can't tell you how many times that kept me asleep in school the next day. But my twin sister and I, we were both real big into music, and she got an acoustic guitar, and I got like a Roland digital drum set when we were, I don't know, 14, 15 years old. So I started off actually playing drums, then got into guitar, played that for a little bit. And then as I got a little older, I played in a couple bands. I played in like an acoustic folk group. We had a drummer that was real big. He's actually Conkle's nemesis. He exclusively does like weird hand percussion, which is like no good for Matt. But then I got into a rock band, and you play the local, the Token Lounge or Pharaohs before they closed that down.
Yeah.
And then I got into a 3-piece progressive rock fusion group, all instrumental stuff. Wild, learned a ton. These guys were absolute theory nuts. And then kind of life got crazy, had a kid, didn't have time for playing anymore. And I think by the time we all got back together, I don't think I'd taken my bass out of its case in probably 10 years.
Oh, wow.
And I still messed around with the guitars and all that from time to time. But like he says, I mean, getting together and playing with real people, it hits different.
Yeah.
Or going out and like meeting new people, it always hits a little different. So, but yeah, in our family, it was not, none of my parents, my sister played, in band, but clarinet, but like the rock and roll stuff, that just, I don't know if that started kind of with us. So
awesome. Excellent. So, question I'd like to ask folks, just to still kind of drilling into like your origin, is what was the first album you bought? It could be album, cassette, CD, whatever.
Oh, I got a twofer for you.
All right, so go for it, Matt.
My first 2 albums that I bought with my own money were George Michael's Faith and Fine Young Cannibals.
Oh wow, the Fine Young Cannibals! Holy crap!
No, my goodness.
Yeah. So what inspired that?
I mean, I think,
because I remember seeing the videos for Fine Young Cannibals on MTV.
I mean, that had to have been part of it, but thinking back on it, like I don't know what year those came out, but I was I was like really young,
Yeah, I was gonna say you had to be because yeah.
yeah, I think I was like 7 years old or something like that. I don't know. Um, and so I'm sure some of it was just the culture at the time, right? Like
Yeah.
we would get home from school. I had an older sister, so she was essentially my babysitter. We'd like plop down and watch MTV. And that was what was rocking MTV. And I think
Yeah.
every 7-year-old is probably very interested in the song "I Want Your Sex."
Oh man, that's awesome. Awesome. Jameis, how about you?
Mine was Porno for Pyro's Pets on cassette.
Oh wow,
I remember
awesome.
I bought it at Meyer. It had that terrible plastic hard shell case that was impossible to remove.
Oh yeah. Yeah, like
Um,
what the hell is the deal with well, I know it was a theft deterrent, but Jesus Christ, come on.
yeah, yeah, and I think it was probably one of those things. I probably heard the song, Pets 100 times on MTV, and it was like I gotta have this. But I mean, it branched out so many different ways from there.
Nice, nice. Matt G.
Yeah, this is hard. It's really hard to remember, and I think specifically it's hard to remember because my parents were pretty cool and they listened to like pretty cool music. So like I kind of stole a lot of their stuff,
Yeah, yeah.
like whether it be earlier on and being more like Tom Petty, Bruce Springsteen, or maybe a little after that being more REM and into the grunge scene with Pearl Jam,
Yeah.
Nirvana, Soundgarden. Truthfully, I think it was probably MC Hammer. It was probably
That's so great.
pretty sure. I think my brother had Too Legit to Quit, and they were singles. I think he had Too Legit to Quit, and I had the Addams Family song that he made for the movie Addams Family. It's like Addams Family Groove or something like that.
Nice.
But yeah, I pretty much just played my parents' records mostly, and they actually, when growing up, they had a turntable too. So I would play the Beach Boys collection, Endless Summer, just all the time. I was obsessed with it.
Nice, nice, very nice. Paul.
Yeah, so I was like in a panic because I didn't know if you were gonna like cross check what I said at Cosmic Sans. That hasn't been like, no, you said it was this. No, I think for real it was Damn It by excuse me,
Dude Ranch?
Blink-182, Dude Ranch. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Dude Ranch. But I would say my first kind of exposure into records and stuff was, and Matt, you made me think about it. My parents had old Monkees records.
Oh wow.
And I had this all-in-one plastic turntable that had like 4 decibels of volume, and I would jam out to Monkees records. But the first one I bought was Dude Ranch by Blink-182.
Excellent. And Jillian, how about you? What was your first album?
I hear scurrying.
Oh.
Wow, I was not expected to be put on the spot. Oh dang. Shoot. I'm kind of in the same boat as Galbraith. My parents listened to a lot of really cool stuff, so I didn't have to really get much on my own until junior high, and I became a total asshole and needed my own stuff. But Jagged Little Pill. That was probably
Oh, nice.
I mean,
that's
every proper junior high girl had to have in the 90s. Jagged Little Pill. That was it. But yeah, we always had classic rock. Motown was huge in my house. So
nice.
Yeah, that was. But
That's
Jagged Little
cool.
Pill in Green Day.
Oh yeah.
Dookie, yeah.
Yeah, Dookie. That's a good album.
Child of the 90s.
My parents were not, we had some Motown in there. And my mom and my dad were like totally into like old school country too, which at the time, like as a kid, I didn't like at all. I was like, I didn't want to listen to it at all. And then like the tunes I did like was Stevie Wonder. But my mom really got into this obsession with Fleetwood Mac when Rumors came out.
Oh yeah, classic.
I heard
Yeah,
that
it's a great.
so fucking many times. I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
God, why? Why, God, why? But now, I listen to it now. I'm like, oh, this is so good, right?
Yeah.
Like sometimes I think you don't appreciate that shit when you're a little kid. You're just hearing it and like, oh, whatever. And then you go back and like, fuck yeah, I love Johnny Cash now. But back
Oh,
then,
yeah.
so
Absolutely.
yeah. So kind of moving up into more modern times, what's an album you've been listening to right now that you really love? And it could I know that again, uh, ask you today, it could be something else. And it doesn't have to be an album that's been released recently. It can, it doesn't have to be a new release. It could be just something that you've been listening to a lot in the last few weeks.
I know that this is for the boys, but you just made me think of it. In our house, Paul's house, that is, we listen to a lot of Rumors.
Oh, really? All right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's been on the turntable quite a bit.
Excellent. Go ahead,
I'll
James.
jump in.
Yeah.
For me, I've been listening to the new Lucero album a lot.
Oh, cool.
Should have learned by now. And I think probably off that, the song that I've been liking the most is called "Buy a Little Time,"
Cool.
which is that's probably gotten more playtime than any other album in the last couple months.
Excellent.
Yeah, that one's up there for me too. But I've been pretty obsessed with Hermanos Gutierrez, which is just like I don't know, they have a weird story. I'm not sure where they're from. I want to say like they were born in like Argentina or South America somewhere, and then grew up in like Sweden or something weird. But they are like a two-piece. They're brothers. They play guitar. It's super chill music. But a lot of cool like fusion stuff, like not like jazz fusion, but just like fusion of a lot of different genres. But I think the best way to put it is it sounds like, the music that would be to like spaghetti westerns or something.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, they came out with a new record, El Bueno y El Malo, that I've been
Perfectly said.
Yeah.
Awesome. Matt K, how about you?
Well, so recently we've been moving, and so my music, it like always kind of reflects your mood, And so for me, for the past 2 weeks, I've been digging back into Victory Records.
Ooh,
so like,
rad.
Yeah. So it's been a lot of Snapcase for me, and like Earth Crisis, and like some of these other bands that I just like. I haven't listened to them in years and years. Like work in kitchens, and they would like frequent in kitchens. I heard Caboose the other day, and I was like, "This is it! Like this is my moving anthem." So that's been a record label of old '90s thrash.
Awesome. And Paul, how about you?
Well, as Julie said, it's a lot of rumors.
Rumors, yeah.
But also, with the wee ones, I don't know if you've heard of Bluey, but
no.
But it's a cartoon show, and they actually released the soundtrack, which is a banger, by the way, on vinyl. So we spin that, and it's fun teaching the kids about the records and stuff. And but yeah, that, and then obviously test pressings. Just listening to over and over and over again. So
yeah. Paul's our number one listener on SoundCloud.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, but like this like kind of snapshot of all of us. That's kind of why I love being in a band with all these guys, and like why I love like the parts they come up with, because we come from totally different musical backgrounds, even though it sounds similar. Our tastes are very different, and I think where we cut our teeth was very different. So it just like makes this cool fusion of styles in the end, that something I could have never produced on my own. So totally give these guys credit for making, the record what it is.
Yeah, that's a good point because it probably does reflect the the depth of the music when I was listening to it, because I think if everyone was in the same wheelhouse, I don't know if you'd get some of those textures that you guys have captured.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's cool.
It was such a journey. Like I remember, Jameis is talking about, I don't know where to go with intuitions. Mine was like Yikes Spikes. It was the song, and we had practice the next day, and I had nothing, and I was like, I can't go with nothing, and I was all, had a couple of beers and all pissed off, and I literally hit every single pedal on my board, and then just played harmonics. And it's like, dude, it's screwing around, and then that's what ended up, showing up. And so it's one of those things where sometimes just a little bit of angst or just stress can lead to fun stuff, because I didn't want to let the boys down on a Saturday.
Awesome. So if you guys could go anywhere in the world to play a show,
Oh boy.
where would you like to
Ooh.
go, and who would you like to have on the bill with you?
Whoa.
Oh, shit.
That's a great question.
So let's, Jameis, how about you? Let's start with you.
Oh man, anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
I don't know. We always joke around about the whole Madison Square Garden, but I don't know. Like I'd really love to play somewhere in Europe. As far as who to have on the bill, man, I have living or dead. I mean, that's the other question too, right?
Yeah, no, it could be either. It could be anything.
Double
Three-
back to me on that one. I
All right.
need a minute to
All right.
process.
All right. Who's ready?
Oh man.
I was just gonna say I would like to play Pompeii with Pink Floyd,
Oh,
and screw these guys. I want to play with Pink Floyd. Like I want to be like David Gilmour.
Oh man. Yeah.
It was the other people on the bill, Matt.
Oh well.
Get rid of us.
Yeah, that's an awesome question though. It's
It's
very
a great
difficult to
question.
answer. I don't know.
Let's see. Matt K, how about you?
So I gotta go. It's gonna be South America, and I'm going. I think I'm going with maybe either Argentina or Brazil. Right?
Nice.
Maybe let's just say Sao Paulo or Rio.
Okay.
I feel like the fans down there just have a passion that's above and beyond
Yeah.
like what we're like normally exposed to, and we're gonna need to fill a big stadium, so I'm gonna need like U2 or like The Cure or someone like that. Like it might be a stretch, but we're gonna need to, like, we can fill a couple hundred seats, and we're gonna need them to fill the rest for
Right.
us.
Exactly.
A couple 100,000 extra
Yeah,
seats.
Yeah,
And
if you don't mind.
capable of doing so.
Awesome.
that's my answer too. Actually, playing with The Cure
All right.
in Brazil, sure.
All right. Paul.
That's we get one more vote. We're going,
Gold.
guys.
Yeah.
All right, if that's it, then that's my vote.
Yeah. I'll
I'll
call
call up Robert.
I was gonna say, Mr. Smith, we need you.
Yeah.
Now, how you feeling about somewhere in South America Thursday
Right.
night? Let's
Well,
go.
yeah, just corner him backstage. I think Cure's coming
Right.
to Pine Knob, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
So mine is mostly because I wanted to go to New Zealand somewhere over there, mostly so I can mountain bike after we get done playing. But I'd have like Guns N' Roses.
Oh yeah.
Just because it's just in my blood. Who else on the bill? Guns N' Roses and like Green Day.
There you go. Awesome.
I'll tell you
I
what,
like
you get
diversity of bill.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, Galbraith, you get Pink Floyd, and I'll get the Fearless Flying Frog Brigade.
Oh right, yeah.
And then they could do Animals cover to cover
There we
Yeah.
go.
together with
Yeah.
us.
Are any of you guys going to that show?
I don't have tickets to it, but
Oh,
I
yeah.
would love to.
I will be there. So
Oh, rad.
Oh,
Where's
Yeah.
that one at?
awesome.
yeah, it was supposed to be originally at Royal Oak, and it got moved to the Masonic. So
Oh, cool.
yeah, so
The
it's
Masonic's
actually
pretty
next
fun.
week, next Friday.
Oh, rad.
Yeah, the second. Yeah, so
That'll be a blast.
yeah, and I ponied up. It's my buddy's 60th birthday, so I said, "Well, we're gonna do the meet and greet, so we get to meet."
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah, I did the meet and greet with him and Sean Lennon too.
No way.
Wow.
When the Lennon Claypool thing was here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we did the meet and greet with Primus too, and it was windy
Yes.
as fuck. It was at the Michigan. What the fuck is that place? Michigan Lottery Amphitheater. I
Oh,
forget.
yeah.
Sterling Heights thing.
Yeah.
Oh, the King of Kings tour, or the Farewell to Kings tour.
Yeah.
I had
Great.
tickets to that, and I couldn't make it.
Yeah, because
Last minute.
it was raining and cold.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was so good though. Holy crap.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I'm kind of obsessed with Les Claypool. I don't know why.
Well,
Me
no,
too.
That makes
yeah.
perfect sense, Chuck.
You're in good company. Then.
yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Jameis, no Necro Goblin for you?
Oh, Necrogoblicon?
Well,
Well,
yeah, Necro Goblicon.
yeah.
coming to
I will
town,
say
dude.
they probably make the best music videos
Oh my
out of
goodness.
anybody out there. No one gets out alive. Probably
Oh.
top 10 videos of all time.
Awesome. So what's up next for you guys? The album's coming out on the 23rd, right? You've got some singles coming out in advance. I think we said next Friday, right? Or this Friday.
This Friday. Yep.
This
2
Friday.
days from now. Yep.
So
And then the
everybody
3rd.
listening in the future, you'll have listened to it for a few weeks, and then you got another one I think coming out in June
June 3rd.
3rd.
It'll be,
Okay,
yep.
cool,
I need to hear it's going to drop.
nice.
Is
So
that what it's gonna be?
Well, yes, as of right now. you gotta kind of speak and forever hold your peace. Distribution says so.
yeah,
Yeah.
Could-
I mean, I could go into Photoshop and change that up
that's right.
real quick. Yep.
Chuck, what do you think our second single should be?
I think it should be Failures.
Failures.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I think that tune is super cool. I mean,
Yeah.
Awesome. That makes
How do
me
you guys
happy.
feel about that? You guys want to
Hey,
call
I'm-
an audible right here, right now?
Let's do it. Let's do
All
it.
right.
Let's
Chuck
make
said
Chuck part
failures.
of the creative.
Oh
All
my
right.
god!
All right. Chuck, welcome
here
to
we
the
go.
team.
All right.
Yeah.
Welcome to the team.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
jeez.
said you
We'll
weren't
send
playing
our
that
rider
gold
over,
talk very
Chuck.
much, though. You could, borrow it, or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, crazy. So beyond the
What is
album,
next, huh?
yeah. What is any shows lined up? Planning to do any?
So yeah, we are playing. We're supporting Hodera, which is a really good band out of New Jersey at the Lager House,
Nice.
and on it is July 6th. July
Yeah.
6th.
Yep.
Nailed it.
Nice.
And then
Thursday.
that's a Thursday. Thirsty Thursdays, guys.
Thursday, yeah.
The
And
pre-Friday.
then that's right. And then what we're doing is we're celebrating the album release on August 18th, which is a Friday at the Lager House.
Oh, cool.
We're still working on the bill, but yeah, we're gonna be having a good time, and we're gonna have some have it more feel like a party. So that'll be fun.
Awesome.
We're really excited.
Yeah,
yeah.
that sounds awesome. That'll be fantastic.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna have to
Hoping
look
to
at my
have
calendar after this.
Vinyl records then.
Yeah, I didn't want to like jinx it and say it, but since you said it, no. So we got a pressing going right now, and we're hoping to have the at least a couple of them over here by August 18th.
Oh man,
So
that would be awesome. I'd love to buy one of those. Holy shit, that'd be fantastic.
I'll come to the show, my man.
All right. Yeah, more incentive. Fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Well, guys, thank you so much for being on Bands with Bands. I really appreciate it. And I've just got one last question.
Here it is.
Paul already knows what it is, but pineapple or no pineapple on pizza? Matt,
Pineapple, sure. I love pineapple on pizza.
all right.
Pineapple with ham.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Conditional.
Matt K, how about you?
I'm a no on
No.
pineapple on pizza.
Yeah.
Not a hard no, but like because even if you pick it off, there's like still that like,
Residue.
Oh,
you're like,
The
I know
juice.
what was here,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But I don't need fruit on my pizza, you know, like that. I feel like you're making a health food decision on a pizza, that's not okay with me.
So are tomatoes fruit? Like how do you
oh, right. Yeah.
how do you square that, bud?
Yeah. And bacon is a fruit too.
Don't complicate this for me. Backpedaling
got
again.
real,
Think
man.
fast enough.
And,
All right, I got one for you now, Chuck.
go ahead.
Is cereal a soup?
Ooh,
Oh shit.
cereal a soup. That's a great question. I'm going to steal this. Cereal a soup. I would say yes, it is soup because it's a cold soup like a gazpacho, but with a milk base. I mean, milk is used for soup. Yes, cereal is a soup. Yep, and I would say the
What?
best cereal soup is peanut butter Captain Crunch.
I'm with you.
Oh shit.
And
Yeah.
if you ever want breaded chicken, you can make peanut butter Captain Crunch breaded chicken.
Oh,
It might
nice.
just change your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
I'm learning
man.
so much.
And
Learning
Paul,
so much.
Paul, were you a pineapple person?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
No, and my son's super into it, so you pretty much have to.
Oh,
Or
man.
face the wrath.
Oh, crazy. Well, guys, thanks again for being on Fans of Bands. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Chuck.
Thanks so much for having us.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
All right.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Joey. Bye.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.
Many thanks to Matt, Paul, Matt, Jameis, Jillian, and Ashley for joining me on this episode of Fans of Bands. I can't say enough good things about Moonwreckers and their new album, Why Look Here. I loved hearing the stories behind the music as well as getting to know the band. We talked about music in general and what they've been listening to recently. As always, we were wrapped up with pizza. Moonwreckers Why Look Here is out now. Be sure to get your copy. You can check them out live on July 6th at the Lager House in Detroit, Corktown. See the show notes for all the details and links. These are tough times for everyone in the creative industries such as music. Your support of live streaming, purchasing music, and merchandise is critical. If you can help out your local artists, please do. If you are in the Michigan area, consider following the Playing in the Detroit Area Tonight Facebook page. It is a place for fans and bands to support each other and share our combined love of music. Thank you all so much for listening. Be sure to hit subscribe on your favorite podcast service to get each and every episode of Fans with Bands. Spread the word by rating the show and leaving a comment. We want to hear what you think. You can keep in touch by following us on social media. This is a Life in Michigan production. Until next time, be well and kick out the jams.